You micromanage me, I'll malicious compliance you.
So this happened this morning. I'm a trucker and did a short load just to go from Spokane, WA to Portland or between my delivery on the prior load and pickup on the next. So dispatch finds me a short load for a little money. Most of the time, when a broker is you install a tracking app on your phone, you call and confirm you're on the load, verify pickup, then they leave you alone. Not this one. They want me to let them know when I get to the shipper. Let them know when I check in. Let them know when I'm in a door. Send them pictures of the freight, the paperwork, the reefer unit temperature, and the seal on the trailer. Okay, feels a bit micromanagey, but fine, whatever. This load is 6 pallets of onions. Not high value, not delicate. Just onions. Appointment is 3 hours away the next morning, so not tight on time at all. When you're going to Portland, there's not a lot of parking options, and there are a number of pull-offs and very wide shoulders on ramps on the I-84. I park on one of these yesterday, a place where there's access to trails in the river. My dogs and I get a hike in and the dogs swim. This spot is an hour from the receiver, and my appointment is at 6 am. These mofos wake me up at 2:30 am this morning. We see you're parked on the roadside. Can you send us an update? Oh yes, I will send you updates. So I sent them pictures of me putting on my shoes. Pictures of my dogs taking a shit. Pictures of me making coffee. Feeding the dogs. The equipment pre-trip. Pouring my coffee into my mugs. My breakfast. The GPS showing where I'm going. My truck ready to go with the headlights on. The building where I'm delivering. The bathroom at the receiver. Me checking in at the receiver. The door I'm going to back into. Me taking the lock off the trailer. Breaking the seal. Opening the doors. And finally, backed into the dock. You want updates, I will give you all the updates. You micromanage me, I will malicious compliance you. Want to see pictures of the dogs. And this is why I don't micromanage the drivers I dispatch. Do you have driver's hours like we do in the UK? If they wake you at 2:30 and expect an answer, that's working your overnight rest period has to start again. Oh, but it gets so much better when dispatch tries to micromanage the truck gate at some places. I work security and I had a dispatcher call me multiple times in a 30-minute time span trying to make me push his guy up in order to be loaded. We had a storm, power outage, we were behind. He started sending the driver back to me. He was waiting up the drive for his turn, interrupting me checking in other trucks. Dispatch demanded the scheduler. So I called her. She was highly pissed and apparently told the dispatch if he called or his driver came back to my guardhouse again, she would pull the appointment and ban the company. Needless to say, that dispatch didn't call me again and the driver was very quiet when he came out to check out. If you have to meet them in person, take a picture of you meeting them and send them that picture. This sounds like the kind of micromanaging England Logistics does. Worst company I've ever worked for by a long shot.
Accidental MC caused 750.0 in damages at paper mill.
Hello. So this happened like 3 years ago at a paper mill. Basically, we got a new server room installed, needed to get rid of the old server equipment, so me and 3 colleagues were tasked with removing every cable except the 4 clearly marked cables. And #X200B. Well, we got to work, removed some panels and floorboards and got on with removing whatever we can and cutting through the rest. About an hour and a horde of fellow engineers and IT came in frantic, talking about the entire mill cut out no data to the new server room from the main switch. I don't know why there was or if there was no redundancy, but well, shit, we got yelled at, but that stopped after they realized that we, in fact, just did what we were told. Cut everything but the 4 wires. The day after we found out that we caused around 750.0 due to downtime and maintenance. We had a good laugh, never even had to testify, had the exact order on paper. What were the 4 wires that weren't cut for? Typical of many IT projects, glad that the paperwork backed you up.
New kitchen employee day 2.
Hi all, not sure if this is the right forum, but thought I'd share. This just occurred this morning. So I started in the kitchen local grocery market yesterday. This is a small 2-store local chain. High-end in a big city on Lake Michigan that isn't Milwaukee. I'd applied for any position, and they texted me for this. Nothing on my short resume sent this or even suggests food service. I told the store manager that I'm a home cook and I'm familiar with food safety, but I've never worked in a commercial food establishment or food at all. I was hired and met the kitchen and deli supervisor yesterday. I do in fact have food service experience, albeit fast food and bistro, but this is a PT gig job for me and I am actually a good technical cook, so I figured I could manage this. I ignored a few red flags and just played competent yet dumb. Today I was informed that I'm expected to open up the kitchen by myself in the morning tomorrow. This is a full kitchen with raw chicken, not a cold bar, deli or FF. I feel this is ridiculous. Mind you, I've made no suggestion of any kind that I can work with through to light commercial equipment. I didn't protest, but did stress strenuously that I do not have cooking experience, particularly as it relates to multiple oven timers. Thought you took notes yesterday, they said, then I needed to review them. There are posters around the equipment, but no instructions kitchen manual. After a few more things and more red flags, I said I was going to the bathroom, then retrieved my stuff and exited into the Alliance split. This is a smallish place super early in the morning, and I didn't want to have a scene with just me and a few workers. Went home, called the city to report some of those red flags I'd noticed, and to my deep surprise, someone actually answered and didn't transfer me. We had a nice long and in-depth conversation outlining everything I've witnessed, all in proper restaurant terms and descriptions, mind you. She took the report and submitted it while I was in the line FTW as a bonus. She was kind enough to mention she had access to other reporting systems, so conveniently bypassing the civic maze I was able to report all the worker safety and code violations as well. Now I'm on a bit of a career break, and this job is not part of my long-term plan. Obviously, no one there knew that. In near-adjourned life, I worked in corporate P&C insurance and risk management. I know all the risk and coverage-related terms that are associated with all those red flags, plus, and probably more significantly, all the other little things the city wouldn't care about but commercial underwriters would. I know how the monetization of these risks is done. I also know how commercial underwriting and risk control actually work, and certainly coverages apply. So with my unexpected free time later in the morning, I made a few calls to some of my colleagues at the big brokerages downtown, and then drafted up a nice little liability concerns notification letter delivered via email to this place's mom and pop brokers. Hope they have adequate coverage when the city inspectors drop by. And they thought scheduling appropriate staffing and paying for adequate employee training was expensive. Wait till they see next year's P&C insurance renewal. Aha, suck it. The dangers of competency coupled with free time. /illustrators. It doesn't sound like you complied with anything, and thus couldn't tell us about the fallout from your compliance. Thanks, they'll repost. You sound like a pretty good cook. A pretty good person. I think more people should be more proactive on things like that. Thank you for being a worthwhile human. But this does not belong here. You did not comply with any orders. You did not twist things to hurt them. You just did the right thing and made sure they get a slap on the wrist.